Body Haven Soaps, and today we are going to make solid bubble bath. Making solid bubble bath is one of those tricky things. A lot of people struggle with it. I know I did. It took me a long time to formulate and come up with a recipe so that I had those bubble bars that were nice and firm, held the shape, and was easy to work with and not crumbly at the same time. So today I'm going to go over the recipe that I formulated. I will give you the full recipe throughout the video, and so that you guys can try it. When you do try it, or if you do try it, please feel free to put a comment on there of how it turned out for you. Because if you live in a really humid area and it doesn't work out as well for you, then that's good information to pass on to everybody else. I live in a drier climate, not a super humid climate. So for other people that try this recipe, let us know how it works out. All right, let's get started. Okay, now that I have my gloves on and my apron on and everything, we're ready to get started. I've pre-measured everything out, as you can see, just to make this a little bit shorter video instead of you watching me measure it all out. I will give you the ingredients and the weights as we go through this, okay? So the base of this is going to be baking soda, okay? I don't put mine through a sifter or anything because I am going to use my mixer here to put everything and mix it and blend it very well, okay? So first of all, we start with our baking soda, and I have 18 ounces of baking soda. Okay, if you like to use grams, you can just easily transfer this recipe into grams, okay, from ounces. So this is 18 ounces of baking soda. Into the baking soda, we are going to add kaolin clay, okay? It just gives softness to the water, and it does help bind the solid bubble bath together. So we're just going to put everything in. I just have it separately measured out so that you can see. And for the kaolin clay, you're going to use 0.6 of an ounce, okay? So just 0.6 of an ounce of the kaolin clay. And then this is SLSA, which is one of our surfactants, okay? And for the SLSA, you're going to have 2 ounces, okay? So 2 ounces of SLSA. I use 3 different surfactants in this so that it's more cost effective and we don't have the huge cost of, 10, 15 ounces of the SLSA. It's pretty expensive stuff. So we use 2 ounces of the SLSA. And then we are going to add in our cream of tartar. The cream of tartar is used to firm this up and allow it to harden, but it still stays that breakable form. Okay. So for the the cream of tartar, okay, you're going to add 1 ounce of cream of tartar. In this dish, I have my arrowroot and my cornstarch. These help as a binder and to keep things firm, and it actually will soften the water as well. So we have 1/2 ounce of arrowroot and 2 ounces of cornstarch in here. Cornstarch likes to stick. Okay. So we have that. Now for the second surfactant, I use SCI powder. Okay, so this is the powder form, not the noodle form, because you want this to dissolve and create those bubbles. So we have 1 ounce of the SCI powder. Okay. So that is all of our dry ingredients in there. Now, obviously, I'm not going to just put this on the blender. This will just be a huge dust cloud, and then we've got the 2 surfactants in there. Will irritate your lungs. When you're working with the powdered surfactant, you should put a mask on. I've been really careful here so that you guys can still hear me without a mask. I will put my mask on once I start blending because this can get into your lungs and create coughing and irritation of the nose and the lungs, okay? So make sure that you wear a proper mask to protect yourself and keep yourself healthy as well. All right. So that is the dry ingredients. Now I add everything into the bowl at once, so that way I don't have everything kind of fluffing around. All right. But I am going to just slightly stir this up so that, and I stir really carefully, kind of just fold it, just so I don't have big clumps of one product in one place, but I don't want to create this big dust cloud in my soap room. Okay, I think we got that mixed up enough. All right, so what we're going to do is add our liquid ingredients on top of this. Okay, so we have in this container our poly 80. Okay, and you're going to need 1/2 ounce of the poly 80, and that just helps the oils, because we are putting cocoa butter in here and stuff. We want to make sure that disperses in the water, less likely to cause a slippery surface, and for the color, it disperses it in the water as well. So we have our poly 80, and that is 1/2 ounce. Okay, and then we have 1/2 ounce of light oil. This is going to be, for me, this batch is a hemp oil recipe. You can use any oil, light oil, okay? So you can use your apricot or your sweet almond oil, any oils that you choose, depending on what properties you want to bring to the product. I'm using hemp oil today, so you can see that's the green color, that's unrefined hemp seed oil, okay? So 1/2 ounce of poly 80 and 1/2 ounce of light oil of your choice. I'm just going to scrape this out to make sure I get it all in there. Okay. And then we have Bubble Up. Okay, so this is the third surfactant. Okay, so Bubble Up, we have, 2.6 ounces of the Bubble Up. And once again, I'm just going to scrape this up to make sure that we have it all. Okay, so that is our third surfactant. Okay, and then we have our fragrance. And for this one, I am doing watermelon. So this is the watermelon fragrance oil. So I'm just going to pour that right in. Okay, and then we have our cocoa butter melted down. Okay, but I'm not going to add that quite yet because it'll just turn into a glob as it cools off in the center and it won't disperse properly. So I'm going to mix this up first and then drizzle that cocoa butter in so it binds with all of the recipe. Let's just bring the mixer in here. And I'll bring this close enough that you guys should be able to see. Okay, so now you can see this is kind of a crumbly texture. The oils are getting mixed in there and that kind of stuff. We're going to take, and while this is turning, mix that cocoa butter in there. And for the cocoa butter, you guys, it's 1.5 ounces. Okay, I don't think I said that before, but 1.5 ounces of cocoa butter. Okay, and this is a very pliable dough now. And that's what you're looking for. Okay, you don't want it much, you don't want much more moisture than what's already in there. This will work well. So it's as simple as that, you guys. And I will use this container here since we have it, because I'm going to do 2 different colors for the watermelon. So it'll be blue and red, or sorry, not blue, green and red. So I just did a blue one, so got my mind on the last color. All right, so we clean that off. And we're gonna take, oh, there goes my dog. About half. All right, so now we're going to take and color 1 green. So we'll make this one green, and I'm just using mica. I did put the polysorbate 80 in there to help disperse the color. And this will warm up with your hands. Oops. The cocoa butter will warm up with your hands, mixing it. I don't want too many white spots, but I'm going to leave this green kind of whitish, like so that it looks like watermelon rind. And then I'm going to take some red, and this is a water soluble, so it's going to get a little bit red, but when it disperses in the water, it's going to make the water a nice color, and that's why I want to go with the water soluble. And I'm going to put a little bit of magic red mica in there to give it more of that color, because I don't want to mix water with that water soluble. Otherwise I won't get I think I'm going to put this on the mixer. So I let the mixer do a lot of the work there for me. Okay. And if you let it rest for a second and get it all into a ball and let it rest for a second, it actually tends to puff up a slight little bit, and it makes it a little bit more pliable and easier to work with. But like I said, you don't want much more moisture than what we have in here. A lot of recipes have a lot of the glycerin in it. I cut way back on the glycerin, and that's what makes this actually firm up. With a lot of glycerin, it keeps it soft and prevents it from hardening. So that's going to be our red or pinkish red. So you can see how this becomes more because it rests. So if you just give it a second to rest, it does become more pliable like that. See. And what we're going to do, because I am going to do a jelly roll with this, I'm just going to use my hands, and it's all right if you get a little bit of red here because red's going to go in the center. But I try and keep it in that rectangle shape. So you see how this is becoming more pliable? You just got to let it sit for a little while. Okay, well, I'm going to kind of square this off a little bit. And I'm even going to start to flatten it out. And this is going to go on top. So now we just want to start working this out towards the edges. Okay, so I'm gonna have this like this, and because I use this waxed paper, I can now just use that as part of my guide. So I'm gonna fold it over, and if you rub it, it warms up, and just keep rolling it over. I'm going to pick up this green, and I'm going to get it underneath so we don't waste any. And I'm going to shape this now. It looks a little rough on the outside, but if we you have to cut this fairly quick because otherwise it does tend to fall apart on you, okay? I'm going to use this tray here. Them about so wide, they will puff slightly, so I'm going to just make the cuts. And then I'm going to use my knife to get underneath and pick them up. And I like to put them down this way. That way when they puff up, they don't flatten out on me. They actually just spread in all directions. I like to add a little bit of sparkle. Just some regular Eco Sparkles, just to add some finishing touches. Okay, and I still let these dry for 2 to 3 days before I package them. But they do dry nice and firm, soft in the sense that you can still crumble them apart and break them up underneath the tap. And this recipe creates a whole lot of bubbles in the bathtub. So if you try this recipe, please comment below and let me know how it worked out for you. Any tips or tricks that you come up with are always greatly appreciated by everybody. If you're interested in following more of my videos, just hit that make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Okay? Thank you.